Yeah, restart that, Joel. Just go ahead.
I can't, because I know what it is. It's usually because it's loading and stuff. Because I literally just every time I go back, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, welcome to the Loud Ass Neighbors Pod.
What's good?
Yeah. My name is JoJo. To my left, I have.
You got the Don across from me today.
King Chang-a-lang, and I see we all talking bad.
Yeah.
Our guest for this evening,
Special guest.
Yeah.
the one and the only.
The only.
Chuck Taylor. Hey, how's it going?
Chuck Taylor.
But he held
Household name.
Governor. And the song you chose today, what is it?
It's Young Dolph talking about scale.
Yeah.
All right.
Riding in the
I just love in the video how like Young Dolph is always so like he puts no effort in any type of action. You don't ever see him actually getting hype. He just like
His gangster shit. He can give a fuck.
he is
about
like,
nobody.
bro, I got
Doesn't give a fuck.
allergies. I'm just gonna stay here real quick so I'll make sure nothing pop my nose.
Yeah, the video is hard. I'm about to give it a watch on a little later. You know.
Hell yeah.
R.I.P. Young Dolph.
Yeah.
Don't go back to your neighborhood.
I mean, that is the truth. Get rich and get out.
You see every rapper
send money back.
Every rapper that get murdered is always in their own fucking city because somebody envious of your ass and you go back and do some.
Like, come on, now. If I got rich today, you think I'm living in the same neighborhood I'm living in right now? It ain't even that bad, but I'm moving.
I'm tired of Tin Roof. I'm trying to go somewhere new. Hell no.
Well, Chuck Taylor, man, tell the folks about yourself. Some people may not know you or whatever, but yeah, just go ahead and give everybody your rundown, your bio, your history, everything like that.
No,
Social security number, everything.
Listen to my fears. Fuck yeah. Yeah, my name's Chuck. I was born in Nashville. My parents got divorced, so I was raised in Atlanta, Forest Park, Atlanta, near the airport, for like 16 years. Started getting in a lot of wild shit, trouble and stuff. So luckily, my mom kind of moved me to Nashville, and I was really shocked as soon as I got here how everyone was so much like nicer to each other here. Everyone was so friendly, like all the black people, like the white people, like the Hispanic people. Everybody was friendly. In Atlanta, it was not like that. So at least not in my experience. So it was really amazing. I loved it. I just fell in love with Nashville, and I never really wanted to go back to Atlanta ever. I would say I went back. I actually ran away and went back for 6 months, but it didn't have the same shine on it. You know what I mean? That lifestyle and everything had kind of taken its toll on my friends, and it was like visible. I was like, man, this isn't what I want for my life. You know, I want to go to college and not be doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So moved back to Nashville. Luckily, everything was amazing. Went to UT, University of Tennessee, played rugby for a little while. Got
all your teeth?
Yes. No, I don't. I got a lot of fake teeth, actually. But I graduated from the University of Tennessee, and yeah, moved back to Nashville after that, and been here ever since, man, since 2010. Happy to be on the podcast. Happy to meet you guys. That's a little backstory, but you know, happy to share more about my perspective and different shit like that as we go on.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So go ahead and let the folks know what you do, man. What's your bread and butter? I know we be having these little conversations, and you know you dip your fingers into everything.
Yeah. He was talking about the money. He's like, the money's in front of me, so I can't see you earlier.
I can't. Yeah, he was talking about haters, like specifically, like, you know, he's like, yeah, because people are gonna try to tear you down. I'm like, bro, if you're even focusing on that, then your head is in the wrong space right now. You need to focus on yourself. Because I used to be like that. I used to hear people talking shit, and I would, you know, see it because I was looking for it. You understand? But the more I started focusing on myself and getting myself right, then everything else just kind of, I don't see any negativity because I'm being more positive. I receive more positive energy from other people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't see him. The money's in the fucking way.
Yeah. I'm here for that. I'm quoting the fuck out of that.
It's in the way.
Please put this on the clip for this week.
Bill Gates got a city in front of him.
Yeah, I'm an auto broker. It's my primary job. I do that 4 days a week. And then in the past, I've owned a clothing company. I've owned a party, like production company that we threw parties on yachts and shit. And I think I'm going to get back into that here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I've got a line down on a big 42-foot yacht, and I think I'm probably just going to buy and start throwing parties on it. I get a lot of friends that are cool, musicians, DJs, stuff like that. So, it's kind of funny if your friends, friends were playing, like the OG basement, you know what I mean, for like a free show, and then like now they're selling out stadiums. You're still your fucking friends.
Yeah,
Did you ever
right.
come to your party? Yeah, for sure. So, and then other than that, just kind of investments. I do stock investing, trade. Tom Woods, a guy who I worked with at Nissan, amazing Denzel Washington looking, probably in his like mid-60s, handsome fellow, great guy, Christian guy, nice guy. Not that really matters. I'm just describing Tom to y'all. Spent a year teaching me how to trade options, so I do stock trading as well. So.
Nice.
Man, did something happen to the stock market this past
Oh
weekend?
yeah, it's pulled back, guys. You can jump in on any option contract you want for like a year out from now. And,
It's gonna tear up
Oh,
those
you're
numbers.
gonna make so much money. Yeah, everything's down so far. Just look at the balance sheet. Look at how much your money they're making. Throw $200 in there. It'll be $1,200 in
One
about
job.
6 months.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Hell yeah. Well, so we got. Let's go ahead and get on some of these things. Some of these things.
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of the headlines and Google trends wise and stuff like that. Amber Heard has been testifying her side of the situation between her and Johnny Depp, and she's been getting a lot of mixed signals. Some stuff sounds really bad for Johnny, and then other stuff sounds like, I think you're reaching. You might be reaching on this one. And so, like, when it comes to this type of stuff, and then she's seen avoiding him and, like, when he's walking by and stuff to make it seem like she's dramatically traumatized and stuff, it's like, it's hard to believe that type of stuff because you're a professional actor for a living. How do I know that you're just not acting on stage? And so, like, when it comes to these type of situations, it's like, all right, Johnny Depp's situation, before he was found guilty, he's lost gigs, his name's been ran through the mind. They were like asking him, he's like, Johnny, what do you gain by doing this? What do you gain by even coming back at your wife and suing her? He's like, I have nothing. I lost everything the moment that people were perceiving me as an abusive husband, a domestic abuser husband. I have nothing to lose by going through this, which makes it seem like, bro, he's really just doing this just to try to clear his name at the end.
Yeah,
He has
truth
the
about.
And our question was, how many? And I was sitting here talking to Chuck early before we got here. I was like, how many people are going through that same exact situation right now, but don't have the money to afford that type of lawyer, and maybe didn't do enough, record enough stuff. Like, Johnny was fortunate enough to have a lot of recordings, people were around him that could back him up. A lot of people don't have that money, that entourage around him to back him up. So it's just your word against hers, and people really will believe a woman's word over yours.
Yeah,
And that's something he has on the recording against her. When
and
she
I
was
think-
talking about,
Oh,
who's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
believe you? Who's gonna believe you, Johnny? Go out there and tell the world that you got beat up by a woman. Who's gonna believe you? He's like, somebody might.
Yeah, that's well said, man. Yeah, I think, yeah.
You know, and what were you saying, Chuck, about to that situation?
Yeah, I was saying, to me, it felt like a lot of times she was kind of grasping at straws. She actually reminded me of a girl that I used to date, where kind of just like frantically looking for a lie or a manipulation that can make everything okay and make people believe it. Is what that's kind of what I got from it. And Johnny Depp, the part of that really resonated with me during that trial was when he said, I'm obsessed. At this point in my life, I'm obsessed with the truth. And I couldn't not do this because I couldn't let down all the people who believed in me and supported me for so many years. I had to chase the truth because I'm obsessed with it. And I was like, awesome. That's all I need to hear. That, and then watching Amber Heard just say some shit, I'm like, okay, I believe him way more.
What did she
than her.
say? What did she say that made
Oh, dude. Okay, good. Okay, the thing with the she was saying, and I think he was I think he was like doing cocaine because there was like a jar.
Oh my God! That
and
shit
then
was
he was like
fucking
a
hilarious.
jar of dirt from Pirates of the Caribbean that I was in. Like, what do you like? I kept that from the set. Like, are you serious? Like, I think it was maybe cocaine. Like, she's just grasping at straws. Just because she's just trying to lie her way out of it. And the crazy thing is, fortunately, the truth does, a lot of times come out eventually. You know what I mean? And I think it should. I think we should all lean into the truth. You know what I mean?
I agree. And B, even though we know a lot of men are aggressive towards female. We know that. We understand that. We're gonna lean
It's not
towards a
fucking
female.
cool either.
Yeah, it's not. But we're not. We shouldn't be quick to judge a lot of men now after what we've seen transpire over the last year or two with men.
It's like, man, no, I think it's case by case.
It is case by case.
I gotta disagree because when you were talking about that earlier, you were saying, blah blah, and maybe men aren't as believed now, and I think that's probably for the better in terms of like I have so many friends that are chicks, guys, and like I'm telling you, it is an insanely high percentage that have told me about times that they were raped, and I'm literally the only person that knows about it. They don't tell their family. They don't tell their friends. They don't tell them because they're so ashamed of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it happens to like most women. Like it's an incredible amount. So I think that you have to believe people when they're accusing someone of something horrible. But fortunately in this case, and I think hopefully the truth does come out. You know what I mean? Because if you're doing some fucked up shit to anybody, a woman, a man, it doesn't matter, a dog. You know what I mean? If you're doing fucked up shit, then the light of day needs to shine on that. You know what I mean? So that you can change and grow.
Chuck, what do you mean by believing that? Because, like, let's say that happens to you. Somebody comes up to somebody else like, Chuck did this. And you know Chuck personally.
People been saying shit that's lies about people forever. And it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? That's the thing is, you can't even focus on it. You know what I mean? Who cares? If it's not real, then I'm not going to leave any credence to it. Okay, so what?
But you got to do your research, right? You got to figure out if it is the truth.
So I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree.
What are you talking about?
As far as like
Mr. Side on the fence, you always settling that hoe. Boy, come on.
Well, let him speak.
Hold on,
You better get off the fence right now.
He's shitting on my fucking opinions already.
You're getting off the fence right now.
No, so like, all right. So the statistic thing, I agree. The whole like, women keeping that secret, I 100% agree. And I think that should be separated between what we should be believing, like what we should push towards believing versus what we should actually believe. And the only reason why I say that is, and I'm not playing any type of victim. I'm trying to victimize all men, but like there are a lot of situations where women take advantage of that thought process. Yeah. That thought process is dangerous because that's what Amber Heard did. She knew if I come out and I say that he did all of this shit, he's gonna tank. It's all me now.
It ruined his life.
You know what I mean? And like
he's got a pretty sweet life still. I mean, you know what I mean? Like he's got a lot of money. He's got a house.
But he is.
And now after the truth coming out, you think he's not going to get movie offers?
But the thing is, it shouldn't have never been a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm getting at. So like, I agree with you partially, or for the most part. I think we're on the same page. The only thing that I'm just like, I don't know. Like maybe when we talk equality amongst everybody, we should keep it that way. See it for what it is, not necessarily, well, we should believe her because she's a girl and she might, but in the same scenario, for years, it's been so many cases of men's lives getting destroyed and we don't find out until 60 years later. Like there's the guy that was accused for rape back in like the 90s. He's just now getting out of prison because a girl finally admitted, yeah, I lied about all of that. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like,
that deserved jail time, in my opinion, because you missed out on a life. By being in jail that long, you missed out on a life.
Oh yeah, it's just like it's kind of like when it's what Chuck said earlier. He said case by case.
Right.
Yes.
That's the way it should
really
be.
Is.
It should be case by case. But the society that we live in, it will never be like that.
My question is, all right, if anybody comes up to you, right, female-wise, and just accuses a male, should we just automatically assume that male is guilty? That's my only question.
No, I listen to the woman, and listen to everything that she has to say, remember it as much as I can, and then I go talk to that man.
Okay.
And I look him in the eyes. Okay. And I say, hey, this is what she said.
Yeah.
You can tell.
You know they're going to say
tell.
no. No, but you know they're going to say no.
But
how many people are going to say, yes, I get that?
Look them in the fucking eyes.
You'll see them start getting hesitant.
You'll see.
Even if you hear,
they're going to be ashamed if they have a heart. If they have, you know what I mean. They're going to be ashamed, or they're going to try to lie. No, man. Oh, no. You know what I mean. And I still see through that too. You know what I mean.
But I feel like we go unbiasedly at that point.
That's what I'm saying. It's the real world. It's the real world. You gotta accept things for what it is. So, in all fairness, the only thing that you could say could happen is, as far as that statistic, take every case seriously. If a woman says that she's been violated by a man, all right, we're gonna take it serious. But in that taking it serious, there's gonna be consequences for the person who was wrong. Whether if you did it, you're wrong. If you're lying about it, you're wrong. And that's where what you said. Like, all right, cool. Let's talk from jail time, because there does need to be way more harsh consequences for people who do false
accusations.
But
false accusations.
It's just tough for me. Like, I agree that every accusation should be taken seriously. I don't agree with the fact that people should be let go or opportunities should be disrupted for that individual cash flow. Like, let's say you're on a roll, you're making money, and you get gig after gig after gig. And that's because people like you and your personality. And all of a sudden, accusation comes. You know how many accusations come against people that are making moves?
I mean, the perfect
every day.
So,
but when a real one comes around, one where it's like multiple people and multiple accusations, then you gotta take it serious. But do you automatically just cut that man off from all his gifts? Let's cut him off and let's just until he's proven guilty, or until the accusations come.
See, the way the world works now, it's so fucked up that the world. My dad always said, as a black man, but like now it's just like a generalization of everything. You are guilty until proven guilty. That's just how the world works. Like Johnny Depp, people believe that shit for years, and
just because of his past and his drug addiction, but he's behind that.
But you can't exactly. But you're guilty until proven guilty. We would have never. Nobody would have believed that until he brought that shit to the light. Until they got proof. That's what's fucked up about the situation. You look at somebody. You look at somebody like, and I'm bringing this situation up only because it's relevant, and we've talked about this person so fucking much this season. But like, Tory Lanez, we don't know the outcome yet. We really don't. But Tory Lanez, at one point, I ain't been broken a minute. This man was blowing up. Like he was peaking. Like we saw Tory Lanez finally getting the shine that he deserved for a while, and that situation happened. Gone. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still making money. He's still making money, but he ain't making as much as he was. He took a cut. He took a cut in followers. He took a cut in residuals. He took a cut in touring. He took a cut. Yeah, his label. Yeah, he took a big cut in that stuff. Now what? Now let's just
God forbid if he's found innocent.
Yeah, I'll say let's put in the scenario. You find out the whole time he had a lot of points that I was just like, yo, maybe he's being honest. Maybe he is being honest. At first, I was team fuck Tory Lanez when it's that mindset where we hear a female comes out and say he did this to me. Yeah. In my head, I have to
protect her. You want to make it
right.
right.
Yeah. I come from a household of mostly girls, like two sisters and a mother, and obviously my dad's there too. But like that, for one, that makes you a lot harder as a person because now like I always felt my entire life I got to protect these people. So when I hear situations like that, of course, mentally I'm favoring whatever she says. You're a piece of shit. Why'd you shoot her? Like what point did it happen? Then it comes out later on. She gets shot in the foot. No bones. The tendons are hit. Oh shit, bro. Majority of your bones are in your foot. All right. So like, yo, he got a point. Like, are you lying about this? Because if you're lying about that, you destroyed that man's career at his peak, and I don't know if he can get it back. I don't, because even if the story does come out that he's innocent, he's canceled. The world's already decided we don't want this.
Well, go ahead.
In that, I just feel like as a society, we all need to come together and do a petition for a law to give them something on the back end.
That ain't no back end.
No, they're just giving jail time.
I think I'd like to bring up an even more serious example.
Yeah.
There's a movie about it. Huel, I think was his name, the guy who found that bomb at the Atlanta, in Atlanta, and then out of nowhere, someone just accused him of because he found the bomb that he was the bomber, and it ruined his entire. The media was attacking it, blah blah blah, and he ended up dying. And then all of the truth eventually came out, but it's too late. Then it's too late. Yeah. This motherfucker you're talking about, Tory Lanez, I don't know anything about the situation, but he still has an opportunity. He's alive, right? If you get ran to the point of killing yourself because no one believes you, and you know what I mean. I think that's the serious, So like AJ said and I said, case by case basis,
Yeah, even what's that? There's a movie, the way the world sees us, or the way they see us, or How They See Us or whatever. It's like a Netflix series. It's like
Oh,
4
you're talking
episodes.
about the black
The little black kids
kids
got
from New York,
accused of
whatever?
raping this girl, and then they
It was
told
like a
them
good
to
part.
they told them to say that just say that you did it so you get out. Those kids spent majority of their life in jail. They grew up in a prison.
Yep.
In a prison, getting beaten,
Which-
raped, and all this
Yeah,
other
which
shit.
does not make you makes you a monster.
Right.
That's what prisons do. They
Right,
make you
and then
a
it comes
monster.
out later on that person that actually did it comes out and says it, and nothing happens to that girl. That's fucked up. You know, like, and I guess that's where my mental.
But like,
is
I
on
mean,
the situation.
the girl still got raped. You know,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I mean, the person.
I'm glad justice was
So
served.
something shouldn't
Yeah.
happen to that girl. Something should happen to the motherfucker who raped her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, like.
But she just, for one, there's consequences that should have been gone all over the board. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
people.
guess I don't have enough information.
Yeah.
No, we just
If you should
read
watch
it,
it, for one, it's a really good show. Remind me of the podcast and I'll show it to you. But like, it's gonna piss you off. It's a show that will like legit piss you off. Now, I will say those kids all did get paid. The government did give them
You gotta
payment.
give them
But like in my head, I don't care how much money you give somebody that had to spend that kind of time
With that much trauma.
with
Yeah,
that much.
yeah.
You know, you got people
Until-
hating
until-
you. You got
yes.
people beating you up. People like
until
the
you
world.
lived in that, you don't know what it's like to go through that.
The world
No
hates
one
you.
knows what it's like. No one else's experience. You know?
The world hates you. You're getting beat down. Like that's. I don't know if I can put a dollar amount on that. Like that's just nah. Everything that you want, you should just be able to get. Don't even ask for it. Like take it.
Now you sure.
Like that's
You put a dollar amount.
It would be hard for me. It would be really hard for me to handle that kind of pressure. But in Johnny Depp's case, I am glad that he is taking this very calmly. Like he is
He's showing his
he is
maturity.
he is in charge of his emotions right now, and it's making
Yes.
her look worse.
Yeah.
Honestly, because if he was to show his emotions in a different way, this may not be as clear as it seems. Like it's not just that he has the evidence; it's that like you actually can look at him and be like, "Damn, dude! Like, I'm looking at your body language right now, and you look like the victim."
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think Bruce Lee said it best, right? He said, "Being calm is a superpower."
Oh yeah.
It is. If you can calmly articulate your memory and your understanding of what the reality was, you know, it's going to be a lot more effective.
I agree with that. Actually, that's what Mike Tyson even said. That something similar based off of that, and it was where he was saying when you give somebody control of your emotions, when you're passionate, they own you. Everything that you do now is going to go in their favor from this point on, and it's true. It kind of does the same thing. They kind of coincide together, and like all in all, like I said, I 100% agree. I just yeah. I think with the Amber Heard situation, I just as
You disagree?
no, I don't disagree. The Amber Heard situation, it feels like a victory for honestly everybody at this point because
Except her.
now, yeah, except for her. But like, it's just like okay, maybe now people will start thinking before they just speak because who the fuck am I to sit here? For one, I didn't know all of the situation before it all went down. I just knew Johnny Depp was in some shit, whatever.
And you were out there casting his name in the mud.
No, I wasn't casting his name. I've never talked.
Fuck about it. Really, I ain't know that much.
I didn't know shit about it. Yeah, honestly, I'm in my own lane.
Yeah.
That's what I never cast a man's name to the mud. I heard about it. Whatever. Cool. Pirates of the Caribbean. Cool. I'm still gonna watch it when it comes on TBS. But like,
But you were wondering why new ones weren't coming out.
kind of. But no, that's not the point. Hold on. That's not the point I'm getting at. Is with all that kind of happening, you know, like she really fucked up a lot for that man, and like we might not see it. But who the fuck are we to even judge the situation?
But
like,
no, that's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is, I see a woman who was never in love with this man in the first place.
You don't know
You don't know
that.
that.
You don't know.
No, but it's coming off. No, but it's coming off like
There's crazy bitches.
No,
Just-
no, no,
just-
but
just-
it's-
yeah,
no, no, no,
like,
there's
mental
no
illness is a real
crazy
thing.
no, but it's
It
coming.
really is.
No, but it's coming off like she never intended to marry this man. The only interest that if you listen to the trial, the only interest that they really shared together was they listened to similar blues music, which was not.
No. You didn't hear what she said.
What she say?
They had her on the stand, and they had asked her about how did it feel to be with Johnny, and like she in that moment she was talking about like how like she may have been acting, but for me it seemed
felt real.
it felt real.
Oh,
Like,
no.
She was like, I felt like
the only
the
honest girl in
prettiest.
the whole trial.
Yeah, she was like, I felt like the prettiest girl in the world, like being next to Johnny and everybody loving Johnny. Like you feel like that woman. Like it's a special feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That may have been one of the key reasons why.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying, that she's married for the wrong reason. Like she never loved him. She loved that lifestyle. She loved that status of being with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was one of the GOATs. He was one of the actors at the time, Disney's prize stars in one of the famous films. And everywhere that he went, because everything she did almost came off like a maid. He came home, she took her shoes off. A lot of women would get tired of taking a man's shoes off, unless you wanted to keep that status. You wanted to make sure that he loved you. Johnny Depp was known to go off and be private sometimes. He talked about this in the trial. He'd go away for times on end, and she wouldn't hear from him. And it was almost like she would be on him, and he needed that private time for some. She assumed that he was on drugs. That's what she pushed on this trial.
She took his shoes off
every day, and he got one time he got I don't know if he was sick of it or like he took it off himself. Like he wasn't waiting for her. She was doing something. She was busy, and she got upset with him because she didn't let him take his shoes off.
I think I'd like to respond to what you said.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that I would hesitate to put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, I think that they didn't ever have this kind of feelings, because we've all been in relationships. You can have amazing feelings for someone, and you're like, how could this ever change? And then, you know what I mean, 2 years later, you're like, I really hope I don't ever see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how many exes do you have that you're just like, fuck her, but at one point you really were in love with?
But Chuck, I said her intentions to love him. I didn't say that she didn't love him. I said her intentions to love him.
Okay. Well, being in a relationship, I can see where like the misunderstanding is. So let me give it to you a little bit. Let me help you learn. No, because this is a real thing, and like a lot of people really don't like understand this. This is kind of what kills relationships in the first place.
Yeah.
Everybody has a way that they want to be loved.
Love language.
And you may be infatuated with the person, but that first time when you're with somebody, that is passion. That is all like it's a honeymoon stage. Everybody knows about it. So like once that is over, you start to see the real person. You start to be around that person and be like, okay, this is the real you. Like this is the everyday you. This is what you want. This is what you expect. And then also you start to see how they want to be loved. And sometimes it's not the same. Like she probably didn't expect that the rest of her life she's going to be taking Johnny Depp's shoes off every day. She probably didn't even think that was going to happen. But that's what Johnny Depp wants. That's not
what Johnny Depp wants. That's what she wanted to do.
Well, that's what she wanted to do to him. Yeah. Johnny Depp probably doesn't give a fuck about a woman coming to take his shoes off.
Exactly.
That's not how he wanted to be loved.
Exactly.
But that's not. Those aren't things that people talk about in the beginning. It's not. Those are things that's gonna happen along down the road.
You gotta learn to adapt.
You either gotta learn to adapt or call it quits. But in this situation, if this was obviously toxic, like you said, he went away. He went away, and she was pissed off about that. I know a lot of women who would be pissed off about that. My girl would be pissed off.
Yeah.
If I went away for a long period of time, not saying anything.
Come on.
That's if I did that and I came back to her like everything was okay.
Yeah, but
that's how I want to be loved, and that's not how she wants to be loved. That's a fair concept.
But what if these are like work ventures? Johnny Depp works on films and he's gone for periods on time.
Well, he needs to communicate with her and have enough respect for her to communicate and be like, "Hey, baby, I'm gonna be gone for 6 days." If you know,
But that's what he has on his case. These are situations where he's on plan, and it's like she's still upset for like the non-communication while he's on set. Maybe he's working, and you don't know. He may be in his zone. He may not want to take calls from outside. You never know.
Yeah.
But it's that type of like. So like if you're in a marriage or like you're in love, you should know he's doing what he has to do to pay the bills. He's coming home to me every night. I shouldn't be like.
But it's not what she wants. That's not what she wants. That like the way that he's doing it is not what she wants. And she has to be. This is why she's a crazy ass bitch. She has to be mature enough to say this isn't what I want, and I need to go. Yeah. Instead of doing that, she did the most psychotic shit just to show him that she was upset. Yeah. And that's really what it was. She was showing him that she was upset and doing the dumbest of psychotic shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
tarnish the shit. But like at the end of the day, you look at somebody like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was a powerhouse actor. Like,
What?
fuck
You
T.
don't think he's gonna get jobs?
Oh, he
bro?
still is. He
Like,
still
oh
is.
my
I'm
God,
sorry.
this guy-
I'm talking about before the downfall of all this shit.
Yeah.
But like, he still is. He still is. If I see Johnny Depp's name ahead of an MCU movie, you better believe I'll be the first thing in that theater. But I just think that like when you're dating somebody like that, whether it be a rapper, an actor, anybody that's got any type of power like that, you have to know what you're getting yourself into, and that's not for everybody. It's been proven. That's a test, the tell of times. You see a lot of these artists and these actors with failed relationships. This is the reason is they can't handle that kind of shit. And unfortunately, like kind of like you were saying, instead of her just being like, "Yo, I'm out. I can't do it," it was, "Yo, catch this bottle, fingers gone." Damn. like I'm shit in your bed. Like,
but yeah,
I'm not happy.
mental illness is a real thing, guys, and I never knew that, but I was in a relationship with a girl who did have mental illness, and it was a struggle, the highs, the lows, because she didn't want to be like that either, and she was very good at communicating too, but it was kind of kind of crazy because it kind of showed me that through meditation, things that we talked about earlier before the show, that. But essentially, I'm neuronormative. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't have any I have trauma. I have PTSD, but I don't have. I can just chill and I don't have my emotions going crazy. You know what I mean? I'm just and I'm fortunate enough for that. But I think also to kind of wrap up everything that you were saying, too, is not everybody's supposed to be together, and sometimes people are supposed to be with you for a time so that you can grow and be a better version of yourself. You know what I mean?
Right, and with those type of relationships, they don't always end the best. So in your experience with this one that I guess we're talking about currently, what do you think that you took from the relationship, or how did you grow from it?
Oh, man, I'm so glad you asked that, bro.
Oh yeah.
So this was one of the most important things that ever happened. I think dating her taught me that I was enough. You know what I mean? And I was worthy of love, because that was one of my big fears, you're not worthy of love. That's common for a lot of people. That was one of my core fears that I got to through meditation and stuff like that. That you have to realize your thoughts aren't real. They're just your thoughts. Your fears aren't real. They're just your fears. You know what I mean? Yeah. So being in that relationship taught me that I am worthy of love, and then losing that relationship forced me to grow up and get through a lot of my own trauma and bullshit that I was carrying around with me, and just kind of be in a loving state of acceptance and peace, inner peace that I never knew was possible.
Yeah, how'd you get to that point, though?
Yeah, great question, man. It fucking sucked and destroyed me. This particular person, I was engaged to. You know what I mean? I was thinking, we were just gonna give it a try. We ended up breaking up, no communication. She immediately goes and starts sleeping with a friend of mine. Found out, months later that they had been sleeping together for months and lying about it, both of them. And he was one of my closest friends. So I felt like I had no one. You know what I mean? I'm literally sitting at my house. She's moved out. I don't have a real, you know what I mean? And I just felt all alone, because the friend group that I had during COVID anyway. Luckily, I've been in Nashville for a long time. I do have a lot of really cool friends. You know what I mean? But you don't even see to reach out to them. You know what I mean? Because COVID has been happening. I was just those people that I was hanging out with. And when she and I broke up, they all just completely abandoned me, right? Which left me in a really broken, fragile state. And my father, luckily enough, I called him, and I was really depressed. Okay, but I called him, and I was like, I don't know how to move forward. And he said, okay. And so he was just like, I'm about to get some but he said that with just an okay. I was like, oh shit, all right. He said, he said to me, focus on yourself. He said, every day, he's like, I know you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. He's like, focus on yourself. He said, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone. And he said, you are a 35-year-old man, son, and you have never reached your full potential. You fucked around in school, you got straight A's. You fuck around at your job, and you make money, so you think that you're doing well. Don't you want to know what your life could be like if you were executing to your full potential? And I was like, well, fuck, now I do, Dad. Shit, all right, okay. And he said, she's what you want, son. She's what you want. But she is not what is best for you. And she never has been. He told me that like 2 months in. He saw it. As soon as he met her, he was like, run.
And you ignored that?
I ignored it, yeah, because I was in love with her.
Oh, that's
She was
on
like,
you, man.
Hey.
Fuck off. I was in my own experience, and I needed to go through it.
Yeah,
I know it's Mother's Day, but shout out to your daddy.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Daddy, for giving you that hard medicine early.
And then,
Real early.
So through that, guys, to finish up my question here, to answer the question. So through that, right, I started trying to find balance that he was talking about. You know, and life's all about balance. You know, and I found a place of balance through meditation and awareness and acceptance of my reality. Right, just being okay with whatever's going on, kind of like being an observer and just kind of like, well, this sucks, or well, this is cool, but like understanding that if it's outside the realm of your control, then you can't control it. Don't worry about it. You know, just let it happen. And ended up through meditation, getting through all my core fears and my PTSD and my trauma and all the things that were making me into a less perfect version of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it caused me to grow the fuck up, and it was fucking awesome. And I started hustling, and, at my work. Literally, I was with this girl at work, and I made. We'll just talk about it. I don't want to use figures, but in the month before we broke up, I made X, right, amount of money.
Yeah.
The next month, where she wasn't in my life, taking that much emotional baggage and that much weight that I had to carry, you know what I mean? I did more than double. I was more than double,
Triple
in terms of money. In terms of money, you know what I mean? And I was just like, wow, this is what my dad was talking about. You know what I mean? When I could execute to my full potential, not carry someone with me. You should. He said, when you're looking for a partner, you have to already be at the top, and then find someone who can take you further. And I was like,
Your dad needs to coach
This
racing.
is true.
I need that. I need your dad to coach racing.
Nah. Come to the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So do you think that was like the biggest like push for you mentally? What was the hardest part for the growth for you, do you think?
Man, it's just dealing with that amount of pain, dealing with that amount of whatever. But now, obviously, looking back at it, I have a completely different perspective. I'm all just like, it's supposed to be it. I needed to go through that to be here now. I love where I'm at. So it's like, it's awesome.
Feel beautiful.
Yeah. You was talking about balance and everything, and I also remember you talking earlier a little bit about Buddhism, right?
Yes.
So like those two go hand in hand on your journey, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it helped me. Yeah, exactly. It helped me. It helped me in the perfect time. Sometimes things like I literally Headspace Guide to Meditation on Netflix. We'll give Headspace a little shout out. It's free if you have Netflix. And I literally started meditating at the very end of mine and this particular lady's relationship. It felt like I was high. Like after I meditated so hard in this television show, they take you through a guided meditation. They tell you about meditation. They take you through a guided meditation. I meditated so hard that I had this like, it was like I was high on weed. I was like chill and just like for like hours. I was like, I can just access this anytime, and all I do is just sit in reality. You know what I mean? And try, and as your thoughts come, right, you just don't have to engage with them. You just focus on your breath and the feeling of the weight pressing down against you. There's all kinds of different ways you can meditate, and it takes you through like I think it's 9 different meditations in the show. Check that shit out, guys.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix. It changed my whole life. That and then a couple books that I started reading that friends sent to me helped me look inward and realize that all the time I was living in my shadow self.
All right.
I wasn't being
top 3
self.
books off the top of your head.
Oh, bro. I mean, I just want to go with. I just like to mention one specific book, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And that is Being Zen by Ezra Badia. It really, really, really is not easy to read because it's so succinct and to the point, and it will tear your fucking guts out. It's just about. It's about what human beings do to try to control all the shit around us and how none of that makes sense anyway. And we should just focus on ourselves and being the true loving version of ourselves is,
bro,
429.
Oh, yeah.
How many pages is this?
I don't know, 150 maybe, 160, but it's very to the point.
Simple. I
It's
like
very
that,
to the
yeah.
point.
Oh, I
It's
was like,
very
how'd you get a 429? Mine said fucking 1835. I saw that they got the
Get a
used
used
version.
one. Yeah, I always buy used books.
I buy used.
Yeah,
I don't know why you get new.
Yeah, you just
I like my pages already worn in.
yeah, for sure.
With the coffee stain
Oh,
on the front page.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
buy
yeah,
that.
character.
It's still on the 30th.
Yeah, so
Nice,
that,
nice,
it
dude.
really, that book in combination with meditation allowed me to get to an acceptance of like my pain and sit with it and just get through it. You know what I mean? And then after that, it was all gravy. You know what I mean? Like once I was back focusing on myself, and the crazy thing is, people talk about manifestation. That shit's real.
It is
Whatever energy you give out into the world is what you get back. And I was always a pretty nice guy. I always had I'm fortunate enough to surround myself with a lot of really cool people. But this allowed me to finally become the like adult, mature version of myself that I never even knew was possible. So highly recommend that shit. You know what I mean? I should get back to meditation. As I'm talking, I've been having so much fun. I haven't really
It's
used it.
getting warm outside. It's all
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
bro.
I'm about to buy a boat.
Well, man, for what it's worth, you know, I don't know you super personally or anything, but like I have a newfound respect for you. Definitely relate to a lot of what you've gone through on personal experience. So we ain't gonna go through all this episode because we ain't got 3 hours to talk. But no, man, I really do grow respect, and man, it might not mean much for me, but dude, I'm happy for you. I'm like genuinely proud that like, dude, that's beautiful.
Thank you. Hell yeah, I appreciate that, man.
I love hearing that.
I think every individual is searching for inner peace right now, but we're glad that you found yours first. We're jealous, but we're glad.
Don't be jealous, bro. That's that fear. Everything in the world is. Jim Carrey said this. Everything in the world is either love or fear. It's right.
Still
It's
working on,
you know what I mean?
Still working on that.
You gotta
inner
let that
peace.
fear go, bro. You know, leave with love, brother. Leave with
Yeah,
love.
as soon as you start talking about his dad, you gotta find a balance, and I was like, all right, Thanos, like, I see.
Now,
you.
I remember having one of those talks with my pops. It was about because like you know how your pops always want you like married or something at a certain point, your grandchildren and stuff like that. And I remember sitting. It was like one of the we went to Memphis game. I was like, all right, shit. We got one of them dad, father, son drive. We're like, we gonna sit here and talk. I don't know what to talk about.
So how's that game?
Yeah. You like the food? The food was good. The food was good.
Those wings are hard,
So
man. They're wings.
we got on my relationship life, and one of the things he told me, he was like, you know what? If I can tell you one thing, you know, obviously he told me he's proud that he's like, you know, you take your time and stuff like that. But like, he's like, no woman's gonna be perfect, and all women's gonna come with some baggage. It just depends on how much baggage you can handle as a man. He said, I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to handle your mom's baggage this whole time, and it's never been a problem. That's what he's saying. He's like, if you're gonna find someone, he's like, no one's gonna be perfect, and you just gotta find someone that you genuinely love, and someone that genuinely loves you, and y'all can be able to handle each other's baggage together as a partnership going forward. And he said, once you find that someone,
That's nuts. He said that.
Yeah.
Once you get so much baggage, once it gets a little too expensive for the flight, you gotta go.
I think I'd like to if I could jump in and comment on what you just said too, bro. Like, you know, I think that to push even further than that, I think you have to get to a point, at least every human has to get to a point of self-acceptance and self-love, and I mean true self-love, to where you know all the good parts about yourself, and you know all the bad parts about yourself, and you try to suppress the bad parts and you try to enhance the good, right? Because you're not going to once you find that woman and you can handle each other's baggage. I don't necessarily know that that's when you're happy. That's not when, you know what I mean? Like, happiness comes and goes, sadness comes and goes. You know what I mean? It's just, it's life. But you have to love yourself. And I mean, really fucking forgive yourself and love yourself to be able to love anyone else. And that has to happen first. You know, so the work has to happen on you, by you, before you meet her. And like I was saying, manifestation is real. You know, and once you get to the point to where you're actually, in you know, you are like, this is what I would like. It shows the fuck up in your life. Like that. Well, seriously, once you get to that point of peace and love and acceptance, you really can command your life in whatever direction you want it to go. And I think that is the exciting part, you know. It's just manifesting all this dope shit, and, you know, like, you know what I mean? Not material possessions,
No,
but
you're good.
amazing friends.
No,
you know,
you're good. It's like
time.
manifesting to me. Like, I'm a Christian guy. Same as my man right here. Like, we all had this conversation about our upbringing and everything. And as far as manifestation, when I just found manifestation and like just found out about manifestation and just like going through it all, it's just like prayer. Just like prayer. They both go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. It's something that you want, something that you're asking for, but it's not just going to come to you. You have to put the work in to get it as well. Yeah, of course.
What did Russ say? Welcome to the rhythm of my intuition. Anything I want, I'll speak it into existence. That's, bro.
Fuck yeah. It's like, so well said. Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. Like, I love manifestation. And
what you manifested in your life recently?
I manifested a happy relationship.
No. All right, take that question back.
What?
I take that. No. Because I want a harder question.
Oh.
No.
If Billy has 3 apples.
It was gonna be too simple.
Traveling at 76 miles per hour.
Name me one time that you manifested something so hard that you didn't really think you were gonna get it, and you ended up getting it. I'll give you an example, right? I remember a time in middle school. I had no chance. I was a little chubby kid in middle school, stuff like that. I had no chance to get this one girl, and I manifested everything. I wasn't like voodoo doll and shit or something like that, but I was like, I'm gonna try to make it super high. She gonna be my girlfriend. I'm gonna write a poem or something. And I'm gonna write a poem or something. She's gonna be my girlfriend after this poem. I kept saying that. And then we had a class. I wrote this poem. Plagiarized that mass. It was off some hard bars that Neo said.
I've done something so similar in my life. I was Jesse McCartney, nigga. I ain't even mad at you.
I wrote down the same lyrics as Neo's song and claimed it as mine. And I said I wrote it for her. Next day, girlfriend.
Nice. I don't know that that's manifestation.
No,
that's like purpose and manipulation.
How do I manipulate? I didn't manipulate.
You used Neo's lyrics.
You
want to come from the heart, bro. You come from the heart.
You were 10 years older. You could have got some jail time for plagiarism. That's copyright, bro.
Neo want me now.
You acting like you didn't write her a banger.
Answer the first question.
Okay.
What have you manifested?
I'll answer both. The first thing that I manifested was I went through a bad relationship, and for the longest time, that's around the time I met y'all. Like, I did not think that I was going to find anybody, but once I got really comfortable with myself, like, I was like, I'm gonna find somebody. I'm gonna find like Mrs. Right. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, my next relationship's gonna be my last.
Yeah.
The girl that I'm with is gonna be my last. I guarantee it. It's not a question in my mind. And I'm gonna continue to manifest that because manifestation has been working for me up to this point. But to answer your first one that I always really hope for, I'll give myself a little comment here. I've been doing music since I was like 8 or 9 years old. You know, I'm playing guitar. I started off as a metalhead, and then I got into like pop punk and all that fun stuff. And then I somehow went back to what I really like always grew up around, which is hip hop, and I started rapping. For the longest time, I had a hard time like breaking out of this like rock pop mold where I kept making pop music and it pissed me off. So one day, I was like, I'm gonna make a rap song. Ask Frank. Frank was there for this one. I was like, I'm gonna make a rap song, and like my next rap song is gonna do something for me. Like, I know like this is gonna put my name in people's mouths. Like, I want something. And he was like, all right, bro, like, how you gonna do it? I picked a random beat, just found a beat, and I sent it to my engineer. And I said, this song, I'm not gonna write it. I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna write when I get there. I'm gonna give me 30 minutes. And I'm gonna write something. I am the biggest like procrastinator. As a music artist, I would be the first one. That's my biggest flaw. Is I procrastinate more than anything. I'll sit here and I'll talk about ideas all day, all fucking day long. And then when it comes time to write, I start judging myself and questioning and sit down and yada yada yada. So I go in the studio. He plays the beat for like 30 minutes, and I was like, all right, I think I got something. I go and record a song called Trendy. And Trendy Tuesday is probably one of the hardest songs that I've ever written in my entire life. And it got me more recognition than any of my other music, any of my other content. I mean, I have people left and right. It gets played at clubs, and they're like, bro, like, you got it. Like, yo, this is hard. Yeah. And I want to mimic it so bad. You know, like, I always want to mimic it. Like, I've always said, bro, I'm going to go back to the Trendy days. I'm going to go and re-record this. I'm going to do this shit again. And I go in the studio, I'm like, yeah, nah, it ain't happening like that again. But like,
you gotta have that confidence.
And
again.
I went
30
in,
minutes after you listen.
Bro, I literally went in, and I shit you not, 30 minutes. I sat down. There's no hook for a reason, and the only reason why there was no hook is like that was not like a thing that was supposed to be in there. At the very beginning of the song, I say no hook. It was literally just because I was in the studio and I said, just play it. Let me try to get something. And I was like, no hooks. I can't I don't have time to like think of something catchy or what everybody's gonna sing. And I ended up writing Trendy. And I think it was a confidence thing. And I think it was something I told myself. I believed it in my head, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be hard." Like,
Manifested
I
that
hear
shit
it,
right in
and
the real world.
yeah,
You made something.
right. And I made this song called Trendy, and like to this day, it's my most played song. It pisses me off that I cannot mimic it. Like I can make great music. Don't get me wrong. Y'all go check my shit out. You follow. But I just that one was probably one of my biggest manifestations, and it happened like I think right when I met you guys. I dropped it like right after I met you guys, and to this day, it's one of the songs that like anybody ever asked me to play them something, it's probably my go-to. Cause it's like, bro, like this is the one. Like, I didn't. It's not necessarily freestyle, but like if I were ever to blow up and get famous and tell the world, yo, I made this in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. I hope that it inspires somebody else to get off their ass and like, try.
You know what that reminds me of? Like T Grizzly's first day out.
Yeah.
Seriously, where he's like, he asked every member of his family, all his old gang members, everybody, I need money for this beat. And his aunt was the one that was like, I'm going to do it. And
the only one?
The only one. And she gave him the money. She actually got shot in his Rolls Royce and died.
I heard about that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know, and very similar story where he just put it all online. He's just fresh out of prison, and he's just like, I'm gonna tell y'all how it is. You know what I mean? And it really resonated with people. You hit a flow state, bro. You just gotta get back in that flow state, bro. You can manifest some more shit.
I'm manifest some shit, bro. It ain't gonna be no 30-minute freestyle. I don't know.
Chuck, what about you? Did you already say one?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think at this point, and I'm talking about now, right? The place that I am mentally is very different than I've ever been in my life. I don't even know if you could live like this, you know. But man, I mean, you know, I think I'm manifesting.
Nah, not currently. You could be in the past. It could be in the past.
I'm getting to it. So, yeah, man, I'm manifesting an amazing job. You know what I mean? That I do really well at. I'm getting better and better at it.
Yeah, you're buying a fucking yacht.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a business thing too. I mean, it's not like just, I'm gonna make money with the yacht too.
He's like, yeah, but I'm getting money, but I'm about to get more.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and manifesting the right kind of people into my life too. People that I'm very careful about my time now. You know what I mean? Before, I would just be like, oh, I need to find someone to hang out with because I'm bored, and I would. You know, now it's like I am very choosy about the people I spend time with because energy's a real thing, and I know what I have to offer people now, and I only surround myself with amazing people, from the girls that I'm hanging out with, from the friends that I'm hanging out with. You know what I mean? It's better than I could have ever dreamed, and it was all just I just had to get to that level of peace to where I could just ask the right way to receive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And not even really ask, just kind of like, this would be cool if I had it. Oh shit, it's right here. What's up? How you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to necessarily get into specifics of any of this, but I would say the people in my life that I'm surrounding myself with, that's what's been most impressive because it's continuing to push me into better and better things, cooler and cooler stuff, newer and better experiences. You know what I mean? So yeah.
One thing I love about what you just said is one of my favorite artists and like people that motivated me, especially when I had like a really bad like pill addiction at one point was Kid Cudi. And I watched an interview with him where he said, surround your people with people you want to be like.
Yep.
Start surrounding yourself with people you want to be like because they
will
push you to. You will become just like them.
Yeah.
You are who you are around.
Yeah.
And
if your friends are getting around, you know what I mean, always getting fucked up and never really doing shit. You know what I mean? That's what you're gonna. Yeah. But if your friends are like, oh yeah, I'm fucking gonna start a new business. I'm gonna do. It makes you be like, what do I want to do? You know what I mean? What could it's that the juices or whatever. You know, musically, right? You know, you write music. You know. Having people around you that make dope ass shit makes you want to be like, well, shit, I need to make dope ass shit too.
I'll even push it even further. And the thing is, like, for me, I found myself trying to be around musicians, and that's just a weird hole to get out. Any type of business you're in that's like that, whether you're an artist, actor, or whatever, there's like a crab bucket effect. Mm-hmm. But like what I've learned is that I surround myself with like-minded, where it's not necessarily like, hey, AJ wants to do music. No, AJ wants to get rich, and AJ is looking for a new way to get rich, and he's gonna keep pushing himself. Hey, I can't do this. I love friends that can be honest and be like, hey, I really can't hang out. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this done. Hey, I can't do this, and I've got my answer from him. I've gotten that answer from him. I've gotten that answer from pretty much any of my friends because they are working on themselves. And I need to be around people that constantly are working on themselves, pushing themselves for more success. Because when I see you doing that, I'm just like, bro, why the fuck was I trying to go out anyway? Mm-hmm. Damn, let me go work on a song.
Yeah.
Damn, let me go like focus on this. Hey, let me contact this producer and talk about, clearing this license so I can put this back out. You know what I mean? Like that type of. I don't care if you're a chef, a plumber, whatever. If you're passionate about what you do, and I see that passion in you, that shit inspires the fuck out of me.
Dope. Yeah, perfect. I think that's so well said, man.
Yeah,
it's so well said. Absolutely. Yeah, it's not what you do; it's who you are that matters. You know what I mean? What are you about? And like you said, surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And I've been fortunate enough to do that. It's made me a better person, made me a calmer person, made me a more mature person. So
Right.
Look at how cool AJ is. I get
this fancy as fuck. Look at his shirt. Yeah, look at his shirt. Fancy as a motherfucker.
Some people are lucky. Some people are not so
lucky.
Like you, man. I've had my experiences. I've learned. I've had some growth. It's just for me, like everybody knows too. Like I'm like the freaking glue. I've always called myself this for a few years because that's just my personality. That's who I am. I am the one that connects people to other people because it's just for me personally, I haven't really had anybody or anything to go to teach me things, so I just keep learning through experiences. So all of my knowledge has just been through experiences, and I don't need to talk about. I've been through some fucked up shit, but it's like all of that stuff that's happened to me has created the mindset that I have now, and also past relationships, which is. When I met this dude right here, it was the fucking weirdest shit. Like, I just came from a party at a farm, got to the bar, and here this man is in a dope-ass suit, talking to everybody, chilling with everybody.
So this is a normal.
Yeah, he's
sauced. Yeah. Chuck is always sauced up.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So there's like, everybody, so my friend was like, hey, like, we're about to go to this. Yeah, let's go. I get there, Chuck's house, and there's everybody from the bar there, and I'm a very y'all know this. I'm a very observative person. Like whenever like I'm in a new setting, I take a moment. I evaluate. I people watch. I judge. It's wrong. I profile, but I mean sometimes it's right. I just pick up on things. I people watch. I judge. I profile. I sit back. I watch and everything, and like I kind of just like create these little profiles of everybody in my mind just to like. Kind of read everybody, see who's cool, see who's not. Let me do some little tests to see like what somebody's gonna do. Who's somebody about with. This man right here, which I can tell from not from the jump, but I can just tell when some people are genuinely cool or like really have good intentions. This man right here walked up with the utmost of generosity. Hey man, you want a drink? No, I'm good on it. Oh yeah, take a drink. It's all right. It's cool, man. It's my place. I'm Chuck.
Be a bartender. You don't want to come?
Yeah. We're sitting there like, oh, okay, then we have a mutual friend. She's talking to her. Then we start chopping it up. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, he's a nice individual. He's all right. He's kind of dope.
He's a nice individual.
Let's. And then we found out we had mutual friends. So I'm like, all right, let's whatever. Boom. A few moments later, we start seeing each other a lot even more. Just because again, mutual friends. Now you see that one person, you start seeing them a lot more. It's what happens. And then he comes to me one day. He calls me. He's like, "Hey man, I think he wanted to hang out or something like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go do some Sunday fundraising." And then I just, for some odd reason, hey, what you up to? What's going on? You been good? And we just started getting in deep in the conversation. And then I saw where he was in that place, and I'm like, "Dude, I was there before. Yeah. I can't give you the book." But I can give you
friendship.
I can give you friendship. I can tell you what works for me. out of my last relationship and what I've seen and how I've come out on the other side.
Yeah. Well said. And I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, dude, no problem. It's like, it's crazy because it's, like you said, like he had done his journey, he had done Buddhism and everything like that. It's like, for me, mixing my faith with manifestation and all that stuff, for me, it's just been one of those things where, like, I just can't get comfortable. I have to remind myself, don't get comfortable. Because I get comfortable and I don't reach that potential. Like you were saying, I can't reach that potential if I get comfortable.
What do you think was your key to, like, coming out on the other side? So I got his. What do you think was yours?
It wasn't necessarily it wasn't necessarily snugs and everything. It wasn't necessarily like self-love. It was more of self-awareness. I had to realize who I was. Like, everybody lives their life in this, like, first-person character type thing. Like you're always gonna come back to yourself and just be like, oh, yeah, I hurt my feelings. Oh, they did this against me. Like, everything's gonna feel like an attack. Everything's gonna feel like it's against you.
Yeah.
But you have to be self-aware of also, like, who you are. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, what are the things that you, like, the way I profile other people? What is my profile? What are some things what are my pros? What are my cons? How do I love? What could have I done better?
Just finding yourself, it sounds like.
Exactly. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about other folks as well. And having that mindset, that openness and awareness will lead you to befriending better people.
Yeah, which led to exactly what he is. You see how all this shit is connected, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Joel? What about you coming out, like, on a better side of life? What do you think would be your biggest key of growing up, I guess?
I don't know.
You still on your journey?
Yeah, that's why I said I'm still on my journey, man. I just take it a day at a time.
We all are.
I'm
still on the journey too,
bro.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know you're on your journey still, but what do you think, like, was your biggest, like, telltale up to this point? Like, what helped you the most in life?
What helps me the most in life? Finding your own type of happiness. Because it's easy to find discouragement. Day to day, it's so easy to find discouragement. Whether that be in the news, whether it be something going easily wrong in your life, wrong order, somebody didn't talk to you right. It's easy to, like, find discouragement. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more enjoyable. It's easier to find happiness and just focus on it a little bit longer than the discouragement. So that's why I try to do. I'll be waking up, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the wind blowing the leaves, even though I can't see it.
Yeah.
Because one day I might not be able to see it. Enjoying my folks, enjoying my family, enjoying my friends, enjoying going out and drinking. Like, it's the little things that I enjoy that people say I doze off. You know, maybe I'm, like, just lost in the moment. It's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's like I'm enjoying the little things because tomorrow could be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very, very well said, bro. That's
so,
amazing.
Like, you know, like I don't know if I told AJ. I told AJ I was going home after a party night on Bell Road to get McDonald's. McDonald's wasn't fucking with me. They didn't want to take my order, you know, like they always do. And so I started to peel out. I could have peeled out the other way and came back down over the road, but I didn't. I peeled out the other way and got stopped at the light. I looked down for 1 second. A car comes out in front of me. Another car comes out and nails these guys. They nail each other at an intersection, and they never stopped. They just rolled off. One hit the light over there, and one hit the light over here. Both lights fell down. Nobody stopped to check on them. Cars just went out there. Nobody. I don't even know if they survived. Who died? It was hard enough collision where, like, nobody put brakes on. They didn't stop. The car just rolled to a stop. So it's like, hey, if I wasn't 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier or whatever long, that could have been it.
Yeah, man.
My car wasn't as sturdy as those two cars. I think it was like 2 SUVs. I ride a sedan. So, you know, it's like little things like that where it's like, I sat there for like at least 3 minutes and I was like, man, or something like that. Like
makes you appreciate the time you got left.
So like when I come out of other sides, when I have hard times and stuff like that, stuff's not going right, I try to appreciate the little things.
Fuck yeah. Gratitude. Yeah, it always leads you back to positivity.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what I do to get through the hard times. See through things.
Love it.
So, y'all want to go see a new movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up? What are y'all's thoughts on Doctor Strange so far?
All right, before I go any further, we're going to stop the episode and tell you guys that this is a spoiler alert.
Well, shit, I want to see this without getting spoiled. Here for the ride.
It depends. It depends on how deep you are on Marvel. Like, if you're not like a huge Marvel fan, it's not. I guess
it's more of a visual movie.
It is.
If
So
you're not that deep into it.
So first and foremost, I'll start by saying, as probably the biggest Marvel fan in the room, I don't know about you, but
no, you got it, bro. You got the crown.
But like this movie was hands down. This is for adults. I don't know if I would want my kids to see this because they might have some nightmares and parts after certain parts of this film. Yeah. Like there was some really like creepy shit this go around. I am happy to see that Marvel. This is the first one where I really did see the shows kind of incorporated into the film. Yeah. Where like if you saw the What If film, this is kind of went down that tangent a little bit with Doctor Strange and like Captain Carter and all that stuff. So you see them. So the plot of the film is practically the movie. For one, I appreciate Marvel for going like put on the gas pedal from the moment the movie started. Like there was no like build up. It was just like boom in your face. Yeah. So you see Doctor Strange with a fucking like man bun, and it's like it's weird. He's with America Chavez, and she's in the comic book. She's not an old superhero. She's kind of newer, low key, but like she has the ability to pretty much punch stars into the world where she can go to different universes. She's the only one that can travel to different universes. She has a really like big powers, right? And something's chasing her. Okay. Now, the thing that's chasing her, you later on find out, is it's a demon. The whole time we're thinking, oh shit, some demons after her trying to steal her powers, right? Doctor Strange from that universe trying to kill her. He was trying to get her powers to save her, but in all reality, that was not the answer. So she goes to the universe with which I love that they did Doctor Strange 616, because that is the universe that the Doctor Strange that we know is from the comic books. He is 616, so I love hearing them call him that. Mm-hmm. But Doctor Strange 616, which is the universe that we all are familiar with, she falls into that universe while he's at Christine's wedding, which is the girl that he was in love with. And all like action just kicks in. She tells him what's happening. Wand is there, and they're trying to, he's trying to figure out. He's like, "Hey, I was looking at the demon, and they have these like witchcraft things on it. Anybody that knows about witchcraft? Of course, we all know Scarlet Witch. Yada yada yada." He goes to Scarlet Witch to tell her about it. You find out that Scarlet Witch isn't one that's been looking for her. Yeah. Scarlet Witch was sending these demons. Remember at the end of the WandaVision show where she's studying the book?
Yeah.
And she is learning these evil curses to chase her kids down. She wants her kids back.
She wants her kids back.
So she's she's gonna kill this little girl, steal her powers, so she can be with her kids in every universe.
Or in that universe.
Oh.
So and the thing was, they had a really cool. My favorite part was when they kept asking her, they're just like, "What are you gonna do when you get to that universe when you already exist?"
Yeah, what do you do with the person that's already with your kids? She's like, basically, they don't remember.
She's like, they won't know. I'll kill them all, pretty much. So
and live that life.
It just gets
awesome Rick and Morty type stuff.
This bitch is still psychotic. I thought she had.
No, bro.
I knew she didn't learn her lesson,
bro.
Should have been an acceptance of this reality.
Right.
And that's what they were trying to preach to her the whole time. I was like, why don't you just accept that this is just your reality?
But let me say this: Scarlet Witch. So any comic book head knows Scarlet Witch. She's that shit. Like she can murk almost anybody. They showed it finally. Like there is no conversation. So in this movie,
she had all that time in that book. She done,
bro. No, she is murking people. Like she can travel universe. So she does this thing called dream walking, where she can't physically be in that world, but she can take over the mind of somebody else in that world and make them her puppet. So she finds out there's a whole throne that's already been made for her. Like this has all been destined for the Scarlet Witch to take this throne. That's too late. And
swear, bro, you got it.
Details.
No, like it blows my mind. So like there's my favorite scene, which is the most fucked up, is like.
Now I know what the movie is about.
I said spoiler alert.
Let me finish off.
I thought this shit was about Doctor Strange.
Hey, no.
Hold on. Before I go any further, where's your favorite scene of the whole film?
My favorite scene in the whole film was it had to have been the part where I guess they were all fighting, where she was like, She was like, that was my being reasonable, and then she finally pulled up at the temple, and everybody was trying to stop her, and they couldn't do shit.
Oh no,
They couldn't. It was like a whole army.
she was
And she
winning.
wiped them all out.
She was winning at
With,
first. They were
with
winning at
Doctor
first.
Strange and Wong, which is pissing me
And
off. I was like,
all
Wong.
other
I thought
sorcerers-
Wong was
all
gonna
the
do
sorcerers
something.
were in one building, and they could not stop her. This bitch
Hold
literally
on, so
stopped.
Doctor Strange was helping her commit evil.
No,
No.
they're trying to
Doctor
stop her.
Strange
Father
was trying to
couldn't
stop
stop her.
her.
They couldn't.
It was Doctor Strange, Wong, and an army full of like sorcerers, and Wanda pulled up, and she was just.
She was losing at first.
One
She really was.
crazy, determined girl can fucking conquer all of it. You
Bro,
know?
I'm telling you,
Analogy.
she was winning at first, or they were winning at first, and then she kind of stopped in a such situation. She was like, "Oh, watch this." She like does this mind thing where she goes to the other side of the fucking wall. She says, "Run."
She
And this
called,
nigga took
she called
off.
one of the sorcerers out. He got scared. He gonna get killed, and he like left his zone, and
The
it
wall
like
came
opened.
down.
It like opened a hole in the shield, like some
Like
Wakanda
Wakanda,
type
yeah.
stuff.
That shit was dope.
And she came through that, wiped everybody out.
No, my favorite scene is Doctor Strange gets trapped in a different universe, and I don't know if y'all watch or like, read comic books or anything or know anything about the Illuminati, but they finally show the Illuminati, and the Illuminati typically actually has Tony Stark. But Tony Stark was in this Illuminati. They had Mordo from the first Doctor Strange film. It had Black Bolt from the Inhumans, which was a movie that Marvel was supposed to do and they never did. Which Black Bolt's superpower is if he talks, he murks anything in front of him. His voice
They
is-
were supposed to make that.
Inhumans never came out. Yeah.
Inhumans. Oh shit! Wasn't he on the show? Wasn't he on the TV show?
Yep. Inhumans. Black Bolt was in it. The Mr. Fantastic was a leader, and it had the guy that we all thought was going to be Mr. Fantastic. Fantastic. You're thinking the last thing. They had the alternate Captain Marvel, which was black, so she had the all black suit, black girl. It was badass. And then I can't remember the other.
Professor X. You said
Professor Xavier.
So
No, there's somebody else.
So explain the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati?
So Illuminati is they're a secret team of like superheroes that are put together to pretty much make all the tough decisions that we can make. Like for instance, in their situation, Doctor Strange got a hold of the Darkhold in their universe, which is a book that she read, and he went evil. Like so, they had to make. He helped kill Thanos in their world in the same war. He killed him, but they were like, we got to tell the world that he died fighting, but we're gonna have to kill him because we don't know what he's capable of to the rest of the world. So they just eliminate the threat. That's what Illuminati is. They're silent leaders that like they're just gonna make sure that they make all the tough decisions so nobody else really has to.
So they make the tough decisions in the timeline, basically.
In their world, yes. In their world. But what happens is my favorite scene in the whole film is Wanda pulls up. Like, have you ever seen the movie Carrie? Like the old horror film?
Yeah.
Bro, she is
Covered in blood.
Bro, she's bloodied up. She's zombieing through hallways and shit. Like she's on busting down steel walls, and they pull up in front of her and fuck Mr. Fantastic. Rule number one: never tell if you're in a gang. Don't ever tell the person that you're opposing what your friend got. Don't ever tell them what your friend got. You could be sitting next to me with a Mac 12. I ain't gonna be like, hey, bro, don't say shit. My nigga right here got a Mac 12.
So what did he say again?
She said, you know, Black Bolt here. He's like, what? I wouldn't do that. Black Bolt here. He can kill you with one word. She said, with what mouth? She used a spell to take the nigga's mouth away. He freaked out, started screaming. His voice inside of him blew his own brains up. Like it was like
have you ever seen Invincible, the cartoon Invincible that I told you to watch?
Yeah.
You remember the first scene where he killed all the other
Well, I don't know,
exactly
but like
like
there was a TV show called Inhumans, and I
Yeah.
remember Black Bolt from Inhumans.
Yeah, he did that. Then Captain Carter, she sliced this bitch in half. Like she threw the shield, cut her torso. You saw it like horror film style, where she separated. And I was like, oh my god, Marvel really like is out here like.
Wanda ain't playing no games, bro. Why didn't they go get my what was her husband's name?
Vision.
Why couldn't they go get Vision from a different fucking universe?
That's the only thing that I was wondering is why Vision was not alive in this universe. Vision was not existing.
Oh, he must be dead in a lot of universes then.
Because like Vision was, I was like Vision.
For Thanos to win, Vision had to
that
die.
was WandaVision, right? Like
Yeah.
he was dead. She animated it all.
That's exactly it.
Like he was supposed to be dead. Like he was killed by Thanos in a fight. Right? So,
Okay.
That's a lot of loopholes. That's a lot of loopholes.
So I gave a little much on the movie, but go see it. If you haven't seen it, watch WandaVision first.
He said go see it after getting the spoiler.
No, still, like there's more that I haven't said, but watch WandaVision first. If you haven't watched WandaVision, it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
And then watch What If.
Yeah, you gotta watch
What If
I
made
didn't
sense.
watch one.
I'll say this movie on the rank of Phase 4. So Phase 4 consists of Eternals, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Black Widow. I put this as like the number 2 for me.
Number 3 for me.
Which one you put into your first 2? Shang-Chi and
Spider-Man.
I put this one over Shang-Chi. I like Shang-Chi was good.
Shang-Chi was so funny.
Shang-Chi was good.
Shang-Chi was so funny.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
funny.
That's why I liked it.
But I like how dark this one was.
This might be my favorite. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. You know me, I love me some visuals, so I'm watching it for
It's
you.
trippy.
And I'm a martial arts type guy. So when I was in Shang-Chi and they were going crazy with the martial arts, I was
Shang-Chi's my number 3. If I had to rank it, I'm going Spider-Man. I'm very biased. I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan.
Yeah,
so like, they had all 3 of Spider-Man. You can't beat that. I'm sorry. Like, nobody's beating that. Number 2, I will put Doctor Strange. Number 3, I'm going Shang-Chi. 4, I'm actually going to put Eternals. I'm putting Black Widow.
Eternals, yeah. Black Widow, you booed.
Eternals actually wasn't as bad. It wasn't great, but it was not as bad as people made it sound.
Somebody said
It
that
was
Black
long
Widow.
for no
Somebody
reason.
said that Black Widow had the same budget as one of these top tier films.
I believe it. But Black Widow was trash.
I mean, it's also about a girl who has no superpowers.
I love that girl that has no superpowers. She's amazing.
Her character, right?
I'm trying to say I see what you're doing. Manifestation is smart. No,
Her character, right?
yeah, I fucked with. I felt like Black Widow. Her downfall was they should have made that movie like 2 years ago.
They really should. But that's the point. They were late, and she needed a movie. I'm pretty sure she's been.
But don't make a movie after you kill somebody off. Like I just like. It's no fun at that point. It's like, oh, I know you ain't got shit to do with the rest of the universe. Like, fuck off. Like, you just trying to give me some extra characters at this point. I don't know. It sounded like a pity movie. Like, I wasn't a fan.
It was a pity movie. I'd be pissed off if I was her. Everybody get a movie but me.
Like, her introduction was an Iron Man. It was
like, bro, hold up. What? This bitch Wanda gets a TV show?
Honestly, that's what Black Widow should have been. It should have been a show.
She's too big of an actress to just do a show, though. The studio knew that.
Well, guess what? That TV show led Wanda to one of the best Marvel films ever. So, like,
hey, did y'all ever watch Ozarks?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last end of the season yet.
Yeah,
Watch it up. No.
I'll
let the Marvel thing happen, but don't be ruining Ozarks, bro. I'll stand up. I'll catch some hands real quick.
No, Ozarks. You gotta go home and finish that.
All right, I'll watch it.
All I'm gonna say is that
I'm currently watching it now. I got a couple more episodes. So.
All I'm gonna say is the ending, everything I expected. It's not happy. It's not sad. It's not leaving no hangovers.
Cool, no more spoilers.
All right, let's stop. All right.
Yeah.
So, speaking of expectations, this past weekend we got Jack Harlow's sophomore album. Kids miss you at home or something like that. We miss you, the kids miss you or something like that. Come home, the kids miss you.
Yeah, come home, the kids miss you.
And track list looked. Wait, hold on. Track list looked fire. It looked badass. When I saw Wayne,
I
Justin
saw a
Timberlake,
lot of potential hits.
All right. For one, First Class, we got that song with the clip came out first before the song. I'm gonna speak on my own personal preference first. The clip was fire. The song was booty. I did not like the song that much. I like the hook still to this day. Like, they come on, I'll sit on scene because it's Fergie. I love Fergie. We grew up with Fergie. Fergie's hard. The rest of the album, minus Drake. Drake is the only, like the one that set that album off for me. And Dua Lipa. That song.
Dua Lipa was hard.
Dua Lipa was dope.
I'm still getting used to Nail Tech. Nail Tech, I think I like the horns too much.
It grew on me. You know what Nail Tech reminds me of, though? My Side Girl Got a 5S screen crack.
Yeah, it does.
It's the same. I keep saying every time the song comes
there
on.
There was a meme I saw, and it said like this album made me realize like how much you take Drake for granted.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It just
because this don't make no sense. You have Pharrell Williams, Drake, Justin Timberlake, and Lil Wayne, and people are saying that your album's a flop.
It was not good.
That's so confusing to me.
It was, in my opinion,
the amount of production doesn't, like he was talking about. Sometimes you hit in the flow state on the first, go round, and you're trying to chase it with all these amazing producers and these amazing talented people, but it just doesn't. It's not like you can't repeat lightning in a bottle every time.
Yeah.
You gotta get in that flow state.
I appreciate that he tried to progress and go a different route, but like this whole album sounds like one long ass song.
It does sound like one long ass song. Like listening through it didn't give me any. It didn't change me like the last one did. The last album, and I even went back to the last album. I was trying to count how many songs I fucked with on the last album compared to this album. I'm like,
Did you fuck with that Adam Levine song?
not really when I first heard it. A lot of people like it, but I didn't
love
really
that
fuck
song.
with it. But I mean, I knew a lot of people did like it. For me, but I even still didn't count it.
Man,
But I still got more favorites on the last one than this one. And
Yeah.
even if I listen to this some more, you're not gonna get more than 5 songs out of me on this album.
yeah, the
All
track list was fire, but the album was.
All right, well, if you're going to sit here and say that, out of these three, list them in order, how would you put them? Jack Harlow, Kid Leroy, and then Post Malone. And
Well,
if you got a fourth one, name one.
You talking about rank those three?
Yeah, rank those three.
Post, Kid Leroy, Jack Harlow.
You think Post is better?
yeah.
Yeah,
I would
Post.
say so.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for Post, the Kid Leroy wouldn't even be here.
Post
I
got
think
albums.
Kid-
Kid Leroy's got
I'm
an
s-
album.
I might be thinking long term. I think Kid
Yeah, I think
Leroy's.
you're thinking
I
long
think
term.
Kid Leroy's the best in my opinion because he's 18. He don't even talk about drugs and alcohol. He hasn't even reached his full potential yet, and he's still getting.
Oh, he does.
numbers.
He don't talk about abusing drugs and
He
alcohol.
does?
Yeah.
He don't talk about
But
abusing
I
drugs and alcohol.
see where you're
Like,
getting at. Kid Leroy has potential because he's the youngest in our eyes. Like, I don't want to talk about leader. Post Malone led the way for this little
He
pop
led the
trap,
wave. He led the
like,
wave.
folk, like,
Like the Kid Leroy style is Post Malone.
You
Like,
can't-
You have to acknowledge that.
Post
You have to
Malone.
acknowledge that. Like,
Hold on, you right?
Hold
that
on.
he
Name
sounded
the
just
Kid
like-
Leroy hits really quick.
All of them.
The hits.
Stay with Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Is that one?
Yeah.
It's,
I'm gonna stop you there. You see how long it's taking you to think of this? Post Malone got White Iverson. He's got Rockstar. He's got that Circle song. Post Malone has albums.
the Kid Leroy only has one album, so
That's what I'm saying.
I was just gonna list off a bunch of songs. From
That's
his
the only
last
reason why-
album.
Yeah, but it's,
I'm
it's
justified.
songs that you're fucking with, and not necessarily. You have to think. You have to think overall.
I think with
Post
Jack
has
Harlow,
more, and he's the
Yeah,
influence
he's
that.
got, like,
I think
three-
Jack Harlow and
three
Kid
more
Leroy are
albums
gonna
on
be more
the kid.
Jack Harlow and Kid Leroy are gonna be more comparable
You know what?
than throwing Post on the list. Post is a vet, and we can't treat him
Hey,
like
but
anything
Post-
like
hey,
less than that.
Post got an album coming out next month, and Kid Leroy got an album next month. We gonna see who sells really top.
That's fine. But
Right.
Post has been around since Coloring Book and before. Kid Leroy's been around for like 2 years.
And Post got a kid, so we don't know how his music gonna sound.
Look, man, I think this is just your moment where you just want to talk about your Kid Leroy again.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Nah, hey, look,
Because
no,
none of them
Post-
sound the same. You pick two people
Swear
that are
to
like
God,
these
they
punk
do not
rappers.
sound
This
like
is a
Jack
rapper
Harlow.
But they
Jack
trying to,
Harlow
but they
is-
trying to run the game. They trying to be like
Jack
the Drake,
Harlow-
the Drake
Nah.
for white people.
No,
Man,
Drake-
Come on.
No, Jack Harlow's the white
Jack
Drake.
Harlow is trying to be the white Drake,
He's the white Drake.
but that's also why he's sounding like Drake.
But he picked Drake's like not best Drake and made a whole album of not best Drake, and it came out less than what Drake could fart in the microphone. I guarantee you to be a hit.
Honestly, I think it's one of those
Negative
things.
Ghost Rider.
It's
Look
just
at Kanye. Poop to these.
it's one of those things where us as music listeners, we expect every artist to do that, or at least the same.
All right, let's go around the room. I know you haven't
I
listened to the
want
whole Jack
quality.
Harlow. You haven't listened to the whole Jack Harlow
No,
album.
I heard that one song that you first class next to it.
All right, so hey, out of the whole album, give it a 1 out of 10.
So,
We did 7. That'll be Future. You gave some Future a 6.5.
I gave Future 6.5.
I see.
Oh, buddy, you might
Oh yeah, it's better than Future's album. What that was only like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
I can look at 3 songs right now
yeah.
that already came
I'm
out.
with you on that.
Yeah.
That's a vibe. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 7, 6.5.
I'm
I'll take it back. I'm gonna take a 6. I'll give it a 6.
It's a 6.
Yeah, I don't think it's 6.
I'll play the happy medium and get that 6.5. Because this is not one I will never. I don't think I'll revisit this album. I'll probably revisit that Drake verse, not the whole song, because Drake murked him. Don't get me wrong, Jack Harlow. He was flowing. He
Here
kept
we
up.
go.
He kept up. Drake murked him on that song.
Oh yeah.
I
Feature?
I have to give it another listen just because.
I'm gonna give it another listen.
I have to give it another listen just because, like I said, we all have those high expectations.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't let it breathe for a little bit and like take in like the sound. Like sometimes we'll hear something and be like, and this ain't what I was expecting.
Exactly.
Instead of actually listening to be like, all right, is this actually a good song?
Yeah, I've
Just
done that.
even-
And then like years later, I'll pick it back and be like, man, this song was amazing. Why did I like that? You know what I mean? And then, yeah. So,
Or you fuck around and be like, damn, how I skip over this one?
Yep.
You didn't skip over this one. You heard it.
yeah, you heard it, you just
said
didn't
was
like it. Then,
I listened to the whole thing. Dua Lipa was hard. Dua Lipa was hard.
It was.
Side
That's a club
piece.
banger. 215 too.
Side piece had rememberable moments. Churchill Downs.
Why are all the top songs the ones without features?
Churchill?
First Class, Dua Lipa.
First Class is not a top song.
You got a strong there, too.
First Class is not a top. Trash. That's because it's a single. That had the most promo behind it. I think Churchill.
Hey, well,
Churchill
all I'm
Downs.
saying is he could have came out Movie Stars a single, Churchill Downs was a single, and Parent Trap was a single.
Churchill Downs
He did
leaked
First
on
Class.
Churchill Downs leaked on Twitter before it came out because he hit that little Pusha T clap back, which I Drake, please don't do it again. Please don't do it again. You see, Pusha T got banned from Canada. Pusha T was banned from Canada.
Okay. What?
That's dig right into another level.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
love Drake, but like, you know, like, first and foremost, I don't think anybody in Canada listening to Pusha T like that.
No.
I ain't ever got in the car with somebody like, hey, bro,
I've seen the guys that listen to Pusha T. There's-
Oh, but we're not paying more
it's
respect.
not even
His
that.
last album-
They're,
Pusha T's
they
last
are
album
hip
was
hop
really
heads.
good.
They're people who listen to Pusha T are hip hop heads, and a lot of your hip hop heads aren't gonna live in Canada.
No.
Pusha T's
But
not.
Pusha T's album was real
Pusha-
good. Y'all ain't got to keep talking smack on Pusha T's album.
Pusha T's no. Pusha T ain't bad.
Better than-
I like.
better than Jack Harlow.
Oh, it was better than Jack Harlow's by a landslide. I like Daytona a lot. Daytona,
I like
that album
Kid
was.
Cudi and Kanye.
That was on Daytona, I think. Oh, you talking about the song?
Yeah.
The song, yeah, that was hard. But go back, listen to it. But I think the neighbors are knocking, bro.
Yes. We reached our time limit for today. Chuck, thank you.
What the fuck?
Thank you for coming out.
Oh my gosh.
Insert the applause
Bro,
here.
nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, bro. What the fuck? Chuck, is there anything you want to leave off with, my man, before we get on up out of here? What's something you want to leave the people with?
You know, I think, something, and not to, I know we've been talking about Marvel and shit. Not
Yeah.
to circle back to, like, real shit.
Yeah.
But
Marvel
something
is
that,
real in my heart.
yeah. I'm talking about this year.
616.
Yeah. Try to move forward with love and kindness and peace and have a fucking blast. And like he was saying, he's been through a lot. The more I found through what I've gone through, the more you get hurt, the more like deep the pain is, the more room you have to love after you get through it. You know what I'm saying? So, be nice to each other, love everybody. Let's go party, have a good one. In balance, balance. Do your laundry.
Make sure your scales bounce, moonlight.
Clean your house and mow your lawn.
For sure.
Yeah, put on fresh
Fucking
socks.
yeah.
Ain't nothing nicer than a pair of fresh white socks. Hey, but for real, thank you for coming, bro.
For real.
Really, really great talk. I do stand by what I said earlier. Like utmost respect to you.
Thanks, man.
And we appreciate that. I'm gonna end the day off on a lot of positive notes. AJ, thank you for being the king of Chang-Lang.
Always. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better when it comes to the Ching-Lang.
JoJo, thank you for being the ringleader to the circus. Donnie, Donnie, thank you for being the GOAT. I know, you're welcome. All right, but this is Adon signing off.
JoJo.
King Chang-Lang.
Chuck Taylor.
All right,
Catch you
see y'all
next
next
time.
week.
Like and subscribe.
Everybody.
Have a good one.
I ain't gonna lie, I got a pee.